What are we looking for? Dogs.
What's good, YouTube? It's your boy Bird, and we back on Bird's Eye View with it. Like always, appreciate the love and support. Please continue to like, comment, and subscribe. Stop what you're doing, smash the like button, smash subscribe button, hop in the comment section, comment whatever you want. Of course, I'm dropping daily bangers day by day. You know, we got news of the day coming out of Colorado, and we're gonna jump right into it, dog. So, of course, we back with another recap with this Colorado football program. As always, shout out Well Off Media, Reach the People Media, the pregame show, for providing us phenomenal footage each and every day. As you all know, we had a lot of visitors on campus this week, and of course we have more visitors that will be on the way this weekend as well. I'll make a separate video for the weekend visitors, but we all know about that Poly to Boulder pipeline. Of course, Coach Domata Peko is definitely doing a phenomenal job getting some of the best Poly players in the country to get eyes on this Colorado football program. Of course, T.I. Umukais, who is now the #1 player in Colorado, 4-star defensive lineman, 6'3", about 310, out of Inglewood, Colorado. Of course, he has a list of institutions after the services of him. I know we mentioned Stanford, UCLA, Washington, UNC, just to name a few. Of course, man, this is a classic nose guard, man, who just does not get pushed backwards. Of course, we mentioned what he's able to bring to the table. Has the versatility to be able to play 3 tech as well, too. 180 tackles in his career, 75 tackles last season as a junior. Right, he helped Cherry Creek win 13 games last season and a 5A state championship in Colorado last season. Done some phenomenal things there. Looks like he had a great time on his visit. Of course, that's one that we just have to find a way to keep the top trench players in Colorado. We got to find a way to keep those guys there. Of course, Manoa Fapusa, right? Another one here, 6'3", about 340, out of Rancho Santa Margarita, California. Of course, we mentioned him as well, how athletic he is for his size, doing a lot of great things on the defensive line position. Of course, he dropped his final 5, which was Arizona, Colorado, Maryland, UNC, and Oklahoma State. Rounded out his final 5. Looks like from the pictures that he had a great time as well, too. He mentioned how ecstatic he was about receiving that Colorado offer, especially coming from, Coach Domata Peko, someone he grew up watching his highlights and tried to mirror his game after. So, it was a special moment there. So we have that connection, and, it's just going to be fun to watch how it all develops there. Another one, right, was Isaiah Tokyo, right, the linebacker, 6'4", about 200 pounds, coming out of Oceanside, California. Of course, that young man here, and that has schools like Arizona State, UCLA, Cal, Washington, Michigan State after the services of him. Of course, he mentioned that, he had a great time as well, too. You see his pictures here that's popping up. Obviously he had a really, really great season. It was a short season, only played in 4 games during his junior season, but had about 30 tackles, 11 for a loss, 8 sacks, 2 forced fumbles in only 4 games. I mean, really good length, really good physical traits to be a solid linebacker at the next level. It's going to be fun to watch the development of his recruitment as well, too. Of course, right, the Peko brothers, Joseph and Domata Peko Jr., they were both in attendance as well, too. We've mentioned both of their games as well and what they bring to the table. Of course, they were able to recreate a legendary photo from back in the day from this Colorado football program, man. So that was, dope to be able to see that. And, it's always been a lot of brotherly love within this Colorado football program from the different amount of sets of brothers that we've had on this roster. So it looks like we're in the process of having another set of brothers in Colorado along with their father, Domata Peko as well, too. So, I just love how we were able to, really do exactly what we needed to do on these visits here. I know Joseph mentioned that he couldn't wait to come back as well, so it's going to be fun to watch and track the development there for these 5 young men here. Hopefully we can land all 5 of them. Obviously, Domata Peko Jr. is already committed, so we just need to get 4 more. We did have some Hogs on campus as well, too. Javion Cooper, right? He's verbally committed to Syracuse. He's an offensive tackle, 6'4", 300 pounds, out of Melbourne, Florida, 4-star offensive tackle, top 30 tackle in the country, right? This young man, again, committed to Syracuse. I know Nebraska is very strong on his recruitment as well, but he did make a visit to this Colorado football program this week as well, too. And he did not come alone, which was pretty interesting to me. Of course, 5-star Cedarian Morgan, popped up in one of his pictures as well, too. Cedarian has been here, that's like the 3rd or 4th time we've seen him. When he commit, July 2nd. Yeah, that should be a fun day. But anyway, Javian Cooper, dog, again, man, he does some phenomenal things on tape as well that immediately stand out. The top 100 recruit in Florida. Of course, it looks like he had a phenomenal time as well. He's on Flip Alert now. Again, Nebraska is highly interested in him as well. I believe he's visited Nebraska multiple times already. I think he's about to make a 4th trip to Nebraska this coming weekend. So they're definitely there as well too. Looks like it's a battle right now. Colorado, Nebraska, Syracuse. Again, he is committed to Syracuse. Top 30 offensive tackle in the nation. Had another offensive tackle as well too, right? Trip Ski West. All right, he made consecutive visits. He went to Vandy and then Colorado as well. He said, his official visits went great. He said what stood out the most was both programs are building something special. Tripp is another Colorado kid, dog, from out of Inglewood, Colorado as well, to 6'7", over 300 pounds, man. Top 12 player in the state of Colorado, top 100 offensive tackle in the country, right? So you can see exactly what it transpired there with that young man, but size definitely immediately stands out on tape as well. Long arms, good play strength, has the ability to develop in a very solid offensive tackle, right? So I'm going to keep track of that young man's commitment there. I know he did mention his time frame for a decision is next month in July. So we're going to be getting a lot of news regarding where these players are going to ultimately choose to attend their schools in July and August. A lot of these guys want to get it out the way before their season starts, which is what a lot of rising seniors tend to do. So just got to stay patient. Next month is going to be a great month to be a Colorado football fan. Last but certainly not least here, Xavier Payne, offensive tackle, 6'7", 320 out of Miami, Florida. He's a 2026 kid as well too, right? Top 70 offensive tackle in the country, top 100 player coming out the state of Florida. Of course, this young man, again, length, size immediately stands out on tape. Play strength, finishes blocks very well. Of course, he is a Florida State commit. He's been committed to the Seminoles for a while, almost 7 months now. He committed back in December of 2024. Of course, it looks like he had a phenomenal time. I know he said you cannot count Colorado out of his recruitment. So, he's still considering other institutions as well. Again, a Florida State commit right now, but, that commitment can easily get flipped, especially when dealing with this Colorado football program. So, I'm going to keep you guys updated on the progress there. But from what I've seen and from what I've heard, it looks like these guys had a great time. Every single one of them that was there. It looks like they had a phenomenal time, and it made a lasting impression, which is, important. So we just got to find out ways to close now at this point here. Again, like I said, July is going to be a great month. It's going to be a fun month to be a Colorado football fan. I will say KJ Edwards, right? The running back out of Texas, who we were all high on and hoping we were able to get him to ultimately commit to this Colorado football program. Scratch him off your wish list. He has committed to Texas A&M. Of course, we lost out on that. He's from Texas, though. So, University of Texas and Texas A&M were really high on him, from the start. So it was going to be a battle there. But, we lost that battle. It is what it is. We got to move forward. And, once we can show that we can consistently run the football a little bit, I think it'll be a lot easier for us to get these elite level running back commits. It is kind of tough when we haven't really shown that we can consistently run the football at a high clip. It's going to be tough to get elite backs to commit, but it is what it is. We're gonna make some things work here, and we still got some guys that are some of the best players in the nation that everybody wants. That's gonna end up coming to this Colorado football program. So again, I'm gonna keep you guys updated. I know we have some visitors this weekend here. Just off the top of the head, I know the young man from Liberty, Maurice Williams. He's committed to Liberty. He's actually out of Etna Car from New Orleans, Louisiana. That's where he played his high school. He's committed to Liberty, been committed to them since I believe around February. But he will take a trip to Colorado this weekend. Rodney Colton Jr., Preston Ashley, and CJ Sadler, they'll also be in attendance this weekend. All 4-star guys. Of course, I made videos on all these young men before, so it's not gonna be new to a lot of you who've been tuning in. But all those 3 guys, all 4 stars, will be on campus this weekend too. We also have a linebacker, a 3-star linebacker from Texas, Carson Crawford. He'll also be in attendance as well, man. I'm not gonna keep it long. Just want to bring you guys with a phenomenal update. Please continue to like, comment, and subscribe. You know what time it is, dog. Bird's eye view, right?